Rockeyez would like to welcome Justin Carrollton. Hey, Carrollton. Is that right? Carrollton?
That's right.
Cool.
Carrollton, yep.
Carrollton. So tell me a little bit about the early days of your career before, you started music.
Well, if you go all the way back, I started singing when I was a kid, and really started as a kid who loved to sing, and then got into church when I was young. Started singing at a young age in church, and when I came to know Jesus, as my own Savior, I started leading worship in high school, and didn't play any instrument. I was just a singer, and then did that for 4 years, and then got into college and pursued music, and knew that man, that's what I want to do, and I started pursuing ministry and music, and knew I needed to stop being just a singer and pick up an instrument. And so at 17, I picked up the guitar and annoyed everybody in college that lived in my dorm room, and I played all hours of the night and learned and relearned and just tried to learn from everybody. And so started that, and that's really how our band got started. We've been together 5 years now, and it started from leading worship out at camps and conferences and places, and me just kind of piecing bands together. I traveled on my own for a little bit, and started piecing bands together, and at some point found a 17-year-old guitarist. I was like 24, 23, and found this kid that people had told me about, and fell in love with him and his guitar playing and his heart, and just really connected with him, and so he became my guitarist for the next couple of years. And then at some point, hey man, we need a drummer, and he met a drummer and said, man, this is the guy that we need to be playing with. And so connected with him, and it just kind of pieced together like that. Same with our bass player, and man, we played one whole summer together nonstop, and after that summer, all of us kind of looked at each other and said, hey, I think this is something worth keeping a hold of, and so that was really the start of the band 5 years ago.
Cool. And the first full-length disc is This Is Life, which came out in 2012. Can you tell me anything about that?
Yeah, that was that's still, we sort of tweeted something yesterday about that, because we just sold out this weekend. We sold our last copy of that record, and that's a special record for us. That was our first full length, like you said. It was our indie record. Fans supported us hugely. We took a huge leap of faith, and really just a trusting that these are the songs we're supposed to put out there, and that this project was right for us. And we met a great producer named Jason Horde. Jason's produced things for like bands like Shane and Shane and the Museum and some other guys, and he's been the guitarist with Third Day for a lot of years. They're touring guitarist, and so we met him, and he really believed in us and loved our music, and he said, man, I'd love to be a part of your full-length record. And we had planned on producing it ourselves, so budget was real small, and then to add a producer like himself, that budget grew quite a bit, and we reached out to our fans through Kickstarter, and our fans raised the money, man, for that record, and helped us in a big way, and that was the first time we really released songs that weren't just songs to be sung in the church, that weren't just vertical songs to God, but were songs about life, and songs about here's what we're trying to live like, and here's what life is hitting us with, and here's what we see life to be about for us, and here's our story, and so it was a real personal record, from the fans supporting us and from the honesty in the lyrics, and that's the record that opened up a record label's eyes to us and put us on the map in some people's minds. It was the title track, This Is Life, was our first ever radio single, and just some things like that happened from that record that I don't think we'll ever forget.
Cool. Now you signed to Centricity, and how'd that happen?
Well, it happened, so we released that indie record in February, and a couple months later we got a random call from a guy named Guy Zapka, And if a guy calls you with that name, you immediately listen up. And so, he calls and he says, "Hey, I'm with the record label Centricity," and we had heard of them and knew a little bit about them. And basically, it's like a little mini fairy tale in the sense that they're one of the most generous set of people we've ever encountered. They put together an indie artist retreat about every 2 years where their owner lives in Seattle, has this amazing property in the Cascades up there in the mountains, and they take a week trip where they pay for 20 independent artists to come out to that property and spend a week, and they bring out songwriters, and they bring out their marketing team and their whole label team, and basically just say, "Hey, we want to pour into you independent artists for 1 week and educate you and help you and give you time to write and time to record. And we don't want anything from you." And they make it clear from the day one that it's not American Idol, or anything like that. You're not auditioning for our label. We really care about independent artists, and we want to pour into you. And so they invited us, and it's a free trip to Washington. So we jumped right on the plane and went. And man, they hit you hard with, "Hey, here's what the real music industry's like, and here's the lessons you're going to learn and encounter." And we learned a ton that week, and left that week saying, "Well, they're not going to sign us. They kept their promise. They're not going to sign anybody, and we got a lot of work to do as an independent band. Man, here's what we've learned, and let's get on it, and let's get on the road more, and let's do this." And at the end of that week, that's where our mindset was. And as we were leaving that trip, before we were flying out, the Centricity said, "Hey, we would really like to talk to you guys and really want to continue a relationship." And that sort of shocked us and blew us away. And that's where it began. Like that began then the talks of, "Hey, we want to sign you guys because we believe in what we've seen in the four of you in a week." Spending a week with somebody in a cabin in the mountains is something special. And so we got to know them really well. And so we didn't ever go to another label or shop ourselves around. We believed that something special was being able to look people in the eyes and trust them and say, "I trust you with what we're going to do," because we care about our career, we care about our music, we care about what we're writing about. And to entrust that to someone else is way more than money on the table. It's much more about, man, I trust these people with what we're doing, and to join our team, and that's how we feel about Centricity.
Cool. Now you got a new CD coming out, Breathing Deep, which comes out February 11th, and I listened to a couple tracks. Two really stood out to me right away, which was, I guess, the single "Pass You By," which is an amazing tune, and also "Holding Me." They're the two songs that really jumped out at me right away. Both, to me are, chart toppers right away. Both songs really have hooks, good music, good vocals. This is only an EP, right? That's
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the EP coming up.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that about those two. The EP is that real, for us, with Centricity, it's sort of our first step, out to people. We've got a great fan base. We're from Cincinnati, Ohio, and then two of us live in Louisville, Kentucky as well. And we've got a great fan base around our side of the country and everything. But this is our first national step out. And we spent about 18 months writing for this record, and it's something, man, I think everybody would say it about their own art and everything, but it's something we're really proud of. Writing for 18 months, everybody makes the joke that with your first record, when you're independent, you have your whole life to write for that record, and we did. I mean, we put songs on our old independent record that were really old. Well, this one we had 18 months to write, and that's a super long time for us. And we got to co-write with some of the best co-writers in Nashville, and just learn from them the craft of writing a song, and it became this sort of communal thing, And so the songs on the EP are the best 6 songs from those 18 months. The best songs that we feel like tell the story of what's happened to us, what's going on in our lives, and that's really what it to us it's about. It's about putting our hearts out there and being vulnerable in front of people and saying, here's what God's saying to us. Here's what He's calling us to be, and here's what life is like walking with Jesus every day. And so these 6 songs sort of became something special to us because of those messages, and we got to work with a producer named Paul Moak, who to us is just an incredible friend, an incredible mentor. We travel a lot and tour a lot, and so on the road, we're always listening to music, and almost every trip we're listening to a record that was produced by this guy, Paul Moak. And when Centricity called us and sort of said, hey, would you like to write a song with Paul and do that, we started writing with him, and it just clicked, and he understood the organic way we wanted to make music, that we wanted to play our instruments, and we wanted the record to sound like that, and we wanted it to have a real natural sound and a real organic feel to it, and even the approach to songwriting. And so we wanted it to come out of life, and that's what it is. And we feel like he captured that on the record. We feel like he allowed us to be ourselves, and so playing every instrument on there, and everything being human and everything being pure and honest meant a whole lot to us, and so that's what we feel like we captured with this EP, and we're crazy excited to release it on February 11th, and just can't wait to see what happens with it. We have no idea, but we know what we put together matters to us and is mattering to our fans that we're playing in front of now.
Right. Now, with this EP, if a fan came up to you and said, your new EP, changed my life, is that like a goal for you, or, what kind of feeling would that be?
I think, it's tough. I don't know if that's necessarily a goal, but our goal is to certainly make something that matters to somebody, and I think the goal for us is to be honest with what we're saying, and in that we believe that can help change somebody's life, help speak to somebody's life, and so it's a special feeling when you get an email from somebody. I remember getting an email last year from a girl who had seen us play at a church, and we played it at an all-black church. We were the only 4 white people in the whole place, which is an odd thing for most of our music and things like that. And they brought us in as saying, hey, we want to bring something in different for our community. And we came in, and man, we were embraced by that community so much. It was a special night. And 2 days later, we got an email from a college student that happened to be there that night, had never heard our music, but heard us play 4 songs that night. And she said in her email, I came into that room knowing I was going to commit suicide that night.
Wow. And
she said in this song called Rest, she said that spoke to me about who I am in Jesus and who Jesus is, and that's where my identity comes from. And she said, and I'm proud to say 2 days later I'm still alive, and I'm not committing suicide, and I'm getting help. And when you hear something like that, I don't know that you can ever plan for that. I think it just blows you away every time that something that's honest for you and that is something you're going through could help someone else. It's just super humbling, man, and it blows us away to see the impact that God gives us the ability to have.
Cool. Now, when someone asks for an autograph, what's that feeling like?
I think it's still weird,
Yeah.
We laugh about it all the time, and we just played this weekend, 3,500 people and getting autographs, and and a lot of times it's a lot of kids and things, but every now and then you get a grown man who asks you for his autograph, your autograph, and I just can't help but chuckle inside. So I certainly never thought I'd be signing anything, nor do I ever think my name's worth anything. So it's a funny feeling. I don't think it'll ever get normal, that's for sure.
Right. It must be really awkward when you have a family member asking, for an autograph, and, because a friend wants it and stuff like that. That got to be some kind of feeling.
It is. It certainly is. Like I said, I don't think we'll ever get used to it. At least I hope not, because I think you're weird if you get used to it.
Right. When you go on the road, I know you have a family. You got a daughter or two daughters, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
I know you don't want to leave, but Daddy has to, pull in the money to support the family. What's that feeling like leaving?
Yeah. It's hard. I've got a 15-month-old daughter, and then we're due in 3 weeks with our second daughter. And then our drummer has 3 kids, 1 on the way, and our bass player has 1 on the way as well. And so without family, this band doesn't exist, and it doesn't happen.
Right.
And our families matter to us. And so it's rough. It's rough leaving. Anybody who travels for work knows that feeling. I mean, it's never easy on that night. But we see our band, and our wives see our band, and our families see our band as an extension of our families. That Daddy's got to go to work, but it's hey, Daddy's getting to go share what God's doing in our lives as a family with more people, and getting to help some people, and so we see it as an extension of our families, and they see it like that, and we're so incredibly blessed to have wives who get that and support us, and families who support us. But it is never easy. FaceTiming is an incredible thing, but it's a poor substitute for truly being there with your kids and your family. So we try to protect that. When we're home, we want to be home. And just like our single talks about, Pass You By, of not missing out on every moment, that's a true statement for us, because when we're home, we want to be home, and when we're on the road, we want to be focused there as well, and give sort of our whole selves to wherever we are.
Cool. Well, congratulations on Breathing Deep, February 11th. Everybody support the new EP. Justin, thanks for giving us a talk, and would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Man, thank you for having us, and thanks so much for supporting us, and fans who have no idea who we are, we can't wait to get to meet you. Go check out our band at carrolltonband.com, and you can pre-order the CD today, or get it when it comes out February 11th. Cool. We're so appreciative to y'all.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Justin.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.